I do now want to go back to the race that currently Microsoft and Google are in. What's more important, being first to release the product or being the better product?
Overall, you've got to be the better product, and you've got to integrate it into use cases that people use. So what is it that AI is going to do for people and for businesses? We're looking at a lot of those use cases now, and which AI is really going to be more effective at doing it. It's got to be cost effective too. AI is not free. It really uses up, 10 or 15 or more times the power that a normal search would utilize, sometimes 100 times more computing power. So we haven't yet figured out, once we have AI, how it's going to be paid for. And so you're going to have a race on quality, you're going to have a race on certain applications, and you're also going to have a race on cost.
Google seems to be coming in second in this race, but Google's so ingrained into our everyday life. I mean, it's a verb. You Google something. Do you see a time where you're going to Bing something? I mean, will Google not be the top search engine in the foreseeable future?
Well, IBM is not the top computing company. Growing up, we thought IBM would be the be all and end all, and then we thought Microsoft would be the be all and end all. So this is a bit of a comeback for Microsoft and a comeback for Bing. Look, because the market shares have been really pretty static. Bing only has share pretty much in the United States. It doesn't really have share, in the rest of the world. So Google has an incredible lead here in terms of what it should do. It has an incredible engineering team. I'd be surprised if the Google response really wasn't strong and wasn't effective. It's interesting, on cloud, Google has not been a leader compared to AWS and Microsoft. But Google can't afford not to be a leader here. If it falls down here, you're right. Market share of search could really start to deteriorate unless it really gets out front of this problem and puts all of its resources into that. I have a lot of confidence in these companies when they do that, but they are behind the eight ball right now.
The Google CEO issued a red alert to its employees saying it was an all hands on deck situation when it came to their chatbot. Do you foresee them taking over this arms race?
Well, it's going to be a race. The things about races is you can't predict the winner until these things come, and then there will be regulatory concerns here about what AI is permitted to do and what it's not, what the tie-in with search share is or is not. How can we have companies have both monopoly or oligopoly on search and on AI? There'll be a lot of issues here before this race. We're at the very beginning. The first thing is people are trying it. They're amazed by it in the same way I think people were amazed by DOS and Windows and the iPhone. That's what makes it an incredible breakthrough technology. But it's going to take 4 or 5 years here before this race is really won or lost, and before use cases are really deployed, and before I think it's really part of our everyday life, which it will be.
You mentioned AI is not perfect, and we've heard of the cons of AI, including it being racist, biased, and factually inaccurate at times. Is this AI race, do you think, potentially dangerous, or is it good for competition?
Well, it's dangerous in the sense that unless we really put a lot of brakes on AI can be manipulated by users. Originally, the original kind of AI type chatbot Microsoft had maybe 7 or 8 years ago, right, in China, called Tay, which they brought to the US after an incredibly good experience in China. And in 4 days, it was trained by users to issue racist stuff. And then we've seen so far, the New York Times reporters were able to get the bot to say that it had a secret ambition and it wanted to take somebody away from their wife. So this stuff can go seriously wrong if a lot of guardrails aren't put on it. And I think the companies now are aware of that. Because the other thing here is you could have the best product, or you could have a product that isn't the best, but it doesn't make mistakes. You could look at it in reverse and say, look, it's the whopper mistakes here, or it's going off on kind of AI benders that really will say, hey, I can't use that product. There's a lot of potential danger here.
Do you think that because it is a race of who can get it out to the market the fastest, that these guardrails maybe won't be put into place?
I think that they're learning pretty quickly that they need the guardrails, and I think that's why I think you're going to see, some reconsideration of plans. I don't think, as you said before, that it's about fastest. It is about having a product that works against things that people use or need, and many of the uses are really going to be internal corporate uses. This will help students, it'll help learners, it'll help general office workers as well. But there are going to be a lot of applications here within corporations that will be the bread and butter. So this is as much a B2B product as it is B2C.